the calm before the storm, because only thing we ain't took control of is media, right? So mainstream media is the last thing of the enemies to go. So whoever it is working for our side should probably be trying to shut that shit down, right? Because once they shut down the fake media, there's nobody to keep up the charade. That's snatching the curtain off their ass, right? So, like, I can't tell a motherfucker when shit gonna happen. I done said that a million times. I can read it in real time as it's happening, and I can give a reasonable assumption of what this add up to in a mathematical sense. That's not prophecy. That's not giving prophecy. That don't mean I gotta always be right. And that's where motherfuckers make their mistake. They think that if any motherfucker say something, he gotta automatically be right. I can be wrong too. I don't gotta always be right. But the fact that whether I'm wrong or whether I'm right, I stand on my motherfucking convictions. My mama said, let your yes be yes and let your no's be no. So if a motherfucker don't understand what that means, then that's their problem, not mine. Right? So, I've been trying to figure out, like, what else to tell these people. What else can I tell them to do? Once I done told y'all who the kings of the land was, and y'all supposed to be pushing that agenda, but nobody's really, only certain key people pushing the agenda. Everybody else sitting on the fence, twiddling their legs, you know, flipping their thumbs. I've been laying low, watching, and I know something ain't right. I just don't know what it is. Something don't fit in the equation, right? The math is incongruent right now. So the only thing to do to make it more congruent and balance that shit out is to flip a bigger turnaround on the media, because they the ones keeping the charade going. They the ones broadcasting this bullshit from fake presidential Oval Office studios. Castle Rock, they got one on the military base. I was going over that with Rashida earlier. These motherfuckers keeping up this elaborate front. The only thing we ain't did was snatch the motherfucking curtains off the media. Get rid of them motherfuckers, take over their shit. Confiscate their shit for being an enemy to the people by feeding them the propaganda that lead them to participate in their own destruction. But y'all don't hear me though. Y'all don't hear me. Because it's the media that's playing this song and dance, right? The artificial political elites. Where these motherfuckers really at, right? So they telling us this shit, but something is amiss. I can't say exactly what it is right now, but this shit's supposed to been well on the road to recovery by now. And somebody getting overzealous in their position and taking shit a little bit out of context, a little bit too far, right? So you got to know where to draw the line at, where you supposed to stop. Where's the finish line? Motherfucker can't keep moving the finish line because it's going to make motherfuckers say, wait a minute, why the finish line keep moving? Every time we finish, then the finish line move again. That shit ain't fair. But they've been cheating the whole time, so why would they be any of a less of a cheat now? Right? They've been cheating the whole time. Right? It's just that now you can't pull the same shit on our eyes, so now you have to keep as many of us, each one teach one, from teaching another. Because the more of us to get the information out, the more we understand what we up against, the less jurisdictional authority these motherfuckers have to take us over. Right? So, if I don't speak to y'all one at a time, no, I appreciate y'all being here. I would like it better if y'all would bring more people. But hey, I ain't tripping, because the shit gonna happen whether it's a little or a lot. I prefer to take a lot of us with us. I could have saved more people had they know they need saving, right? Had they know they were tricked, I could have helped them out of the deception, out of the trickery. But because they were so thoroughly tricked, they fought against everything that I say to break them free from the trickery, right? I got Clubhouse. I just haven't set up a room, right? I don't really be... The thing is this. I could talk to y'all that blue in the face. It's not going to change nothing. It's not going to help nothing. The only thing going to change is if the people that I'm talking to is inspired to action from the words I speak. You know, if I get you to teach somebody the shit that I'm teaching you, showing you where to look for the information. Here's the answers. You look right here. This is the answer to the problem, right? Some people are starting to understand what the problem is and see who the real enemy is, right? So I be putting them, I post that shit. I don't give a fuck. If I see somebody saying the same thing, I don't have to know them motherfuckers. They telling you the exact same thing I'm telling you. So if they telling it to you, I'm telling it to you, and we don't know each other, then it might be some validity to that shit, right? So first and foremost, the black term for the people is a chess term for the people. All of the people considered as black as the pawns on the defensive side of the chessboard, and all the people considered white is the pawns on the offensive side of the chessboard. On the defensive side of the chessboard, you don't even have to know that you're under attack. The defensive side of the chessboard consists of the indigenous people of the land. The deception being used to prevent them from ever participating in the chess game is to make them believe that they don't even have positions on the chessboard. When the real reality of it is they own the chessboard, right? Not only do they own the chessboard, they invented the game. Once you realize you invented the game, you got to realize that the inventor of the game can't be beat using that game, right? So he can come in late. He can come in an off position. He can come in at a bishop's angle or at a knight's L. Or he can slide across on the rook. Or he can push in any direction off a queen. But whatever it boils down to, when it comes to the grand hurrah, checkmate motherfucker, the gig is up. You have to know when you playing against them, and you got to know what they're using as a strategy to use to keep you in a subservient condition. Now, the chains are paper chains. The paper chains are the adhesion contracts. So look up adhesion contracts, right? Every time you do paperwork with the corporation, you are agreeing to follow the rules of the corporation. The corporation is not the government. The government is the people that the people pick from among themselves to be their leaders. Not the artificial electoral college puppy dog show that they tell y'all is the president, who is actually the elected CEO of the corporation by stakeholders. If you don't know what the electoral college is, you won't never know how they was able to determine who was going to be the president from the word go. Because the electorate can override the popular vote. But if they want you to think whatever they want you to think, right, then they can tell you that the popular vote is what the electors was going to do anyway. You have no way of verifying that, right? There's no agency that verifies ballots. Specifically should be done on its own in a society where your votes count, right? So automatically, if you was having real presidential elections, it would be an independent corporation, an independent body that would be tasked with inspecting the validity of all of the motherfucking ballots if it wasn't fixed. But It's fixed. So since it's fixed, they let the electors of the electoral college, whose vote they know gonna, who they know they're gonna vote for ahead of time, even before the election. Because part of being enrolled as an electorate in the electoral college is they have to know who you voting for. So that's how they know already who gonna win. Okay, so being separate from the corporation is taking away the artificial, what they call the de facto jurisdiction, which is actually an assumed jurisdiction acting under the color of law. Violation of the United States Code 1983. So, when they acting under the color of state law, they passing themselves off with the appropriate jurisdictional appearance, but without the substance. So when you validate the illegitimate system, you telling them that you are imbecile in law, and the imbecile in law is considered dead, aka black, right? So you black in law, which means you the ones that they are attacking anyway. How do you know this? We've been at war for 500 years, right? In the 500-year war, they have what they call warrants. A war rant is a declaration of war that is perpetual. Every time one of us color outside the lines they draw for us, they issue a warrant in our name. But they don't issue it in the name of what we call the de jure. They are issued in the name of the de facto corporate entity they create that represents you, called a straw man. The straw man is what you call a legal fiction. That means it's created in law, but it's not real in substance. It is a de facto. The corporation known as the United States is a de facto. The people of the land in a sovereign capacity are the de jure. When you realize that you did de jure, then you got to know, well, how is they playing this game that keeps us from winning? They use the paper trap to get you to consent to their superior jurisdiction. The paper trap determines your lack of competency to handle your own affairs because you keep re-enlisting in adhesion contract after adhesion contract with a defunct corporation. It's closed now. So now you beating the dead horse trying to get it to come back to life, looking for some shit they call normal. We ain't going back to that shit. Better get Sister Tracy. See what she got on her man. Hey Tracy, can you hear me? Can you hear me? That must have been an accident. Okay, so yeah. So now when you don't do the paperwork, they can't validate the substance of their claim of you being an imbecile in law because only an imbecile would surrender his inalienable rights for his civil liberties. Your inalienable rights override all of the civil liberties. The civil liberties are those uh, um, allowances that the corporation, the civic body, the corporation acting under the pretense of government, allow you to as a member of their corporation. Your membership is determined by you recontracting with them again and again and again. And the more you recontract with them, filing nationality cards, driver's license, birth certificates, social security cards, you saying that they de facto jurisdiction is more superior than your de jure jurisdiction when that's not possible even according to their own law admission, right? Because they tell you in their law that sovereigns empower corporations to perform the functions of government. If the sovereign at any time realize that the corporation is ran amok, then the sovereign can withdraw his consent for the corporation to do business from his sovereign capacity as a 5/5 realized being and not a 3/5 Dred Scott compromised imbecile in law, right? So that's the name of the game, and that's how it works. Once you know how it works, you can mount a defense against it. But if you don't know how you work, you can't defend against it. What we would be doing if everybody knew what was going on, we would all be walking off our jobs and shut the economy down, right? But it's going to shut down anyway. These banks have been bleeding us dry for too long. So that's a wrap for them. They undermine Big Mama Bank, undermine Big Mama Bank, right? They couldn't keep it, but they could live off of it as long as they was holding it in trust for the rightful trustees to assert their superior jurisdiction in the de jure capacity as a sovereign being, right? And demand that the three kings be seen walking on the land as free men, right? So that we can restore the balance back and raise the matriarchy, right? So you need all four of them, the three kings as the governors of the land, right? The one so declared to redeem them or to show the people where the real leaders on the land at and to tell the people who are who we pick versus the corporate fiction in a artificial dog and pony show called elections. All elections are fixed. Rodrizzo's '06. Let's see what he talking about. Come on in, my man. Myself.
Yeah, they hired that particular thing you talking about.
Type in SAS before FBI.
S A S.
Go to where it say all that.
All right, let's get them. Let's get them. Let's see. What is the SAS? It's a supervision specialist agent. It's a special job within the FBI investigation. It gives them with the responsibility of leading teams of special agents into investigation. Yeah, special operations unit.
That's what they was called back then. Some kind of special operations force. But the initials was SAS.
Yeah, they probably scrapped. They probably scrubbed the internet on that shit, like the secret.
No, it ain't no secret. If you look up go to Google the history of FBI, because that's what J. Edgar Hoover was before he formed the FBI.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So 13 Shriners. They go back to the 13 Shriners. This is Special Air Service has its origin in the North African desert. It was formed as 62 Command in July 1941 to undertake small-scale raids behind.
No, that's something else. That's something else.
All right. The Special Air Service. All right. Hold up. Yeah. Yeah. Hold on. Let me type this in. Come on, baby. Come on. Come on. Give me something good. Yeah. They hide that particular topic, boy. You say you pulled it up before?
Yeah, it's under the history of the FBI.
Brief history of the FBI. Let's get their ass right here. All right.
See, we'll go back to 1908. In 1908, it wasn't called the Federal Bureau of Investigations yet.
Yeah. You know what? I got a document on this somewhere. about what you're talking about. Now that I think about it.
Okay, the reason why I bring them up is because they tell us it means one thing, but it means something else. I wanted you to see the symbol for it before I take you to Switzerland.
Okay, all right. I gotta find like another way to type it in then probably. All right.
They was really the Swiss Army Services
Oh yeah.
enforcement arm of the international banks. But they came over here, they changed the meaning of the SAS. And I don't have my other computer. I'll look that shit up real quick and show you what I'm talking about.
Swiss Army Services.
Go to images and see what they flag or they logo look like.
All right. These the same suckers they trained to do that martial law joint, ain't it? They got the Red Cross. That's the same shit. That's the same flag with the damn Knights of Templar.
Right. Now you starting to see it. So pull up the Templar flag because the Templars split. Remember there was a war within the Templars at the Catholic Church,
Uh-huh.
right? And it became contentious and they split into two factions.
Uh-huh.
See the Templar cross? Okay, now, remember when you were saying that you brought the French up?
Yeah.
The last war with the Swiss is where all of them went to France.
Yeah.
I mean, went from France to Switzerland.
Yeah. 86, somewhere around that, maybe. Yeah.
Right. Okay, now when they get over there, Switzerland becomes declared what you call a neutral country with no public relations
Just
or
like the Vatican.
ties to any other nation.
Just like DC and the Vatican.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so Switzerland don't know Italy can go to war because the Vatican is in Rome and Rome is in Italy.
Okay. Okay.
Italy can go to war, but Rome can go to war by themselves
Yeah.
without Italy.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Now, London, the military of England, they go to war by the order of Parliament.
Yeah.
They're not supposed to go to war unless they have America's support because they're not really the military strength. They are the banking power.
Yeah.
They operate from here.
Yeah.
Now pull up World Bank.
All right, I got you. World Bank, baby. We got their ass. Somebody in the crowd say, "Get Rod Hayes, get them niggas, man."
Now you see where the symbol for the World Bank? It's the globe, or it's a laid out map of the world, right?
Yeah.
All right. All of your tax dollars go there. They don't have nothing to do with paying for your roads. It's another one called IMF. Pull that one up too.
International Mountain Funds.
Yep.
Damn.
These is the people who's collecting the taxes. Guess where their primary offices are?
France.
No, Switzerland.
Switzerland. Ah.
Right? Now, the Moorish stronghold is the Isle of Man. Pull that up.
The Isle of Man.
ISLE of Man. Click that. That's the flag.
That's a creepy. He just twist. It looked like a damn swastika though.
Almost. Something missing.
Yeah. It's missing. Yeah.
Right? One of the angles is missing.
Yeah.
Where's it at? Noble Drew Ali got it. It's on Circle 7.
Ah.
Okay, now go to the all and pull up the description for the Isle of Man.
Hey, go to all. Okay, I got you. We got that now.
If you can make it bigger, I can read it.
All right, hold on. Let me do this.
Oh, click on over there to the right.
Right here.
Yeah, that's just a quick description instead of reading the whole history.
It says the Isles of Man is a self-governed British Crown dependency in the Irish Sea between England and Ireland. It's known for its rugged coastlines, medieval castles and ruins, landscape fishing to the mountains center. It's the capital, Douglas, the Matrix Museum trace the island's Celtics and Vikings heritage. The Isles of Man (TT) is the major annual cross-country motorcycle and race around the island.
Okay, now behind where you got it, type the Isle of Man, type and Moors. AND Moors. No, stay on all. We want the description. We want them to tell us what's the connection.
All right. It's talking about this dude named Arthur Williams Moore. That's a heavy ass name right there with all of them. Williams and Moore. That's a oh, they really ain't giving me nothing too much nothing on it. What's that with the Moors? Let me do this because they like to play these games and put the ish on it. Let's see, put the ish. It says there were black Muslims in Northwest Africa. No, that ain't what we're looking for. We're looking for the Isle of Man. Oh, let me type it in like this. Rhode Island.
That's the Mirror Island. Rhode Island was settled by the English.
So it's the Mirror Island to the other
Isle of Man. Yeah.
Oh shit. So-called Black Moors, a Black Moor. It was a black servant originally enslaved in North Africa who worked. These motherfuckers be lying like a mother. They be lying like a mother. That's not it. Yeah, hey, I don't see that on this.
Look, I'll send you something for the next show. We'll clean it up over there. So I'll be able to show you exactly what I'm talking about. But the Isle of Man was a stronghold for the Moors after the Spanish Inquisition.
Oh yeah, I gotta write this down, man.
Right.
Yeah.
So they settled the Isle of Man as an independent domain within the British Empire.
Yeah.
Right. And so now they operating from there, and they not using the 6-point star. They using 3 legs.
This is crazy.
Right. Now, what's the significance of the legs? Pull up the George Washington. You still got that George Washington challenge I showed you?
I got it on my phone, but I don't got it on the well, I don't even got the phone because I got a new phone. Yeah.
Okay, because the reason why I asked, because in there, one of the things was mentioned was the sandals.
Yeah,
Moors, look, the Moors that came from Europe didn't wear sandals. The Dutch didn't wear sandals. They wore wooden shoes, remember? And they wore the buckle in the front.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The English wore the boots with the buckle across the front. Right? They kind of was made on the same style as the shoe. So they didn't come over here wearing sandals, but we was wearing moccasins.
Yeah, right.
Right? And that's the sandals they talking about.
Go ahead.
Right? So if you pull up any picture from early colonial America, pull up colonial American footwear. So when you pull up the footwear, you know that they didn't even come over here wearing sandals. They didn't wear sandals or moccasins. They came over wearing boots, shoes. Them little ugly motherfuckers right there. Them, yeah.
The leprechaun joints.
Right.
It was rocking the leprechaun joints. The wooden shoes.
All these is the different size shoes that came from Europe over here. The moccasins was what we wore. You should know the difference in the footwear.
Yes, hey, I appreciate that. I appreciate that, Jude, because that ties in with me looking at the phenotypes and all that. So I'm gonna look at the footwear. That's a good Jude.
Right. Also, remember the red shoes is what we call from dancing on the ruby red floor set.
Uh-huh.
That's dancing in the blood. Remember Michael Jackson, Blood on the Dance Floor?
Uh-huh.
That's what he's talking about. The blood on the dance floor is for sacrificing them to the music.
Uh-huh.
This was what we wore. What you looking at now? This is them the sandals.
Yeah. I got a couple pair of these. I got about like 5 or 6 pair of these shoes. This was actually what I like wearing. My daddy used to wear. Everybody, my whole family used to rock these. So hey, I got like 5 or 6 pair of these.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, if you go to English shoes of the 1500s, they're not gonna have nothing like this. So I gotta be making so many connections to who I'm talking about, to what I'm talking about, that y'all know exactly what I'm saying. See that pointy ass shoe right there?
Yeah. Oh shit! Look at that. They want which shoes?
Yeah, that's not a witch shoe.
Go ahead.
That's from over there in Europe. That's the precursor to the modern day Stacey Adams.
Yeah, it was when the niggas got the. Yeah, I know what you're about. Go ahead.
Right, that was a customary footwear. You remember the genie had the toes curled up on their shoes?
Yeah.
That was from wearing these until the toes curled up.
The food for the king. He wear the type of shoe like this, you know?
The jester.
Yeah, the jesters.
Yeah, the clown shoes.
Yeah.
That's Boaz.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So if you scroll down, you'll see the different shoe types from the era.
Oh yeah, it's a fire ass Jew right here, brother. It's another.
You see those shoes?
Yeah.
This is what they was wearing when they came over here. Do them look like motherfucking sandals or moccasins to you?
And
right?
Oh yeah, it's a good one.
Them the shoes they was wearing. They're not the same.
No, those were ugly joints. Our joints ain't that ugly. Like our joints weren't ugly like this.
Hey, back in the day, that's like what motherfucker looking at some gators now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, back in the day, it's like looking at some gators.
Yeah. Them niggas was sharp when they came over here with their baggy ass Arabian Nights gear on.
They thought they was clean as hell with the damn. They look like some monkey ass.
Okay, let's buckle back down and get to where they go when they got over here. So they controlling the politics from the Washington Masonic Lodge.
Let me get that pulled up, please.
Geography is everything. It's about the real estate. All of the sigils on Washington, D.C. is the great kanji.
I know it.
You see it?
Yeah. And why Benjamin Banneker said to help them niggas set their shit up there? Was he in with them niggas?
Who?
Benjamin Banneker.
His fez is in the memorial.
Huh?
His fez is in that Washington memorial.
Oh shit. So the ones that got the dirty Moors that got their feds collected.
Well, look, we call them dirty Moors, but we're gonna be 100. They came over here to challenge us in the kinds of war because they wanted to take over Earth.
Yeah.
You can call them your enemy, you call them dirty Moors, you call them what you want. They some smart ass motherfuckers because they had all of us niggas over here stumped. Yeah. Until they let some little old nappy head motherfucker from Pontiac, Michigan get out the penitentiary and take the test.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. It's a galactic chess game. You got to know where the pieces is moving. So the Jewish Defense League Why the FBI don't arrest them for extortion of Tupac, Michael Jackson, motherfucking Biggie, R. Kelly, everybody that you know of that went to prison or got murdered in the last 50 years in Hollywood? Their name is in their file and the FBI is aware of it. So why is the FBI not doing anything?
Are they the same people that started trying to frame Michael Jackson with those kids thing, little kids?
Yes, the same motherfuckers.
Man.
They the same motherfuckers. Look, they called the Jewish Defense League in public. They 32-degree Scottish Rite Freemasons in private, and they also Moors in
Jews.
public.
More Jews.
More Zionist Jews.
Yeah, more Zionists. It's right there, man. Zionist Jews. It's right there, man. The learned elders of Zion. It's all right there. It ain't no, I mean, this shit is clear as day now.
Okay, now, remember when we went to Trotsky and he had Malcolm X on the cover?
Uh-huh.
Because it's through the study of Leon Trotsky that you end up finding a guy from Barbados by the name of C.L.R. James. I had sent you a picture before, but you can pull him up.
All right.
C.L.R. James was the entire philosopher for Stalin, Lenin, and he was good friends with Trotsky. Leon Trotsky got murdered by the same motherfuckers that murdered Noble Drew Ali. That's him. Look, he's one of the most prolific minds of the last 100 years. Most of us don't know who this guy is because we don't get a good Moorish education. All right, now, in his writings, he's given us the blueprint in order to go back to our ancestral ways, but it's concealed under the doctrine of communism. So Trotsky's book was after a conversation with him. They were talking about how we would come to prominence and how to organize the people in the Black nationalist movement to a tribalist agenda using communists as the cover story.
Uh-huh.
Right? But if you don't know who the chiefs is, you won't never figure it out.
Uh-huh.
So Malcolm X said, I'll work with anybody who's willing to change this rotten condition on this planet we face.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Right? Remember that?
Uh-huh.
And then he set up something called the OAAU, right? Organization for African American Unity.
Uh-huh.
But he didn't have to do that because we already had UNIA.
Okay.
Right? Now, when we roll out of the 60s, right, and we coming into the 70s, we rolling into what we call the gang era.
Uh-huh.
The gang era was on the heels of the counterintelligence programs, the extermination of the leadership.
Okay.
Right? So from here, we had to show you their modus operandi with Maurice Bishop. Pull him up.
Maurice got their ass.
Now, Maurice Bishop was the prime minister of Grenada, and he had brought drastic change to an island that was in a similar condition as Haiti.
This is white dude?
No, there you go. That's him.
Oh,
they murdered him. CIA put a hit on him and killed him.
He had a meeting with Fidel Castro, same nigga that was meeting up with Malcolm X.
Yep. The CIA murdered him.
Why they killed him?
You got to study his story. He had fought America and beat him. They had sent some special ops from America down there, and he ran their ass up out of there, and he was setting Grenada up to be independent. He built an international airport in Grenada, started giving jobs, making the people of the island have a way to support themselves. He was very important. He was for the islands. He was a Malcolm X type figure or a Stephen Biko type figure.
Okay.
Right. And so they had to get rid of him because he wanted us from the land. And the people support us over a person that's an imposter because they recognize the difference immediately because of some shit called sincerity.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
right? Now, this was around 83 when they murdered him. Who's in the White House in 83?
83 is Reagan.
Ronald motherfucking Wilson Reagan. When Reagan was in
Yeah.
office, Reagan wasn't running the country after his assassination attempt. Bush was running everything after that.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
That's why Reaganomics started off galvanizing the economy,
Uh-huh.
right? And then it became voodoo economics when Bush tried to he introduced a massive amount of narcotics into the community
Uh-huh.
to suck the wealth back out fast as it go in.
Uh-huh.
The side effect is it produced Big Meech. It produced motherfucking Freeway Ricky Ross.
That's right. Go ahead.
It produced Harrio, right? And we learned how to come up from nothing using the poisons that they was pushing us down our throat.
Hey,
So
keep talking.
once Big Meech get into the money, now he don't have to do shit. He can switch over and become legitimate. Because in the boys in the hood is always hard. Come talking that trash when you pull your card. Want nothing in life but to be legit. Don't quote Easy E because I ain't said shit. And so this is what the whole struggle is to keep all of the chiefs on the land, no matter where you find them, whether it's Maurice Bishop in Grenada, whether it's motherfucking Chief Malik Angel Bay in Chicago, whether it's Big Tookie or Black Panther on the West Coast, it doesn't matter. Wherever one of us at that is starting to make the necessary connections to move these people off the land, they murder them. They murdered Maurice Bishop. They murdered Malcolm X. They murdered Noble Drew Ali. They murdered Medgar Evers. They just kept murdering us. They murdered Clan 13X. They murdered almost all the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar family. The only reason he didn't get murdered because he wasn't home, doing the same fucking dirt, the same people. So the ones that's behind it now, they had hits on various different people that had to be removed out of the picture. So Maurice Bishop is for us a chief cult figure.
Mm-hmm.
He's somebody that we can teach our sons that this is how a man move in politics.
I'm going to study this guy. Sure.
Yeah. You can pull up one of his speeches on YouTube. He wasn't for no games. They got some short ones too. But Maurice Bishop ties me back to a guy named Tony Martin. Remember Tony Martin?
Tony Martin. So, and they ain't sound familiar. Tony Martin. Tony
You
Martin.
remember the Jewish onslaught, right?
No.
Pull up Jewish onslaught. So back in the like 97, um, Tony Martin was trying to use the secret relationship between blacks and Jews to teach a class in his college classroom. And the Jewish Defense League came out against him, and it's the Jewish onslaught, ONSLAUGHT.
Spell that last part again.
ONSL. There you go.
Okay. Damn. Tony Martin.
Right there on the right, yeah. Tony Martin.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now, right under that, you see the blue one in the middle? Under him, click that. This is the reverse side of the book. I don't know if you'll be able to read it, but it tells you what the book is about.
Yeah.
So when he never felt any pressure like he did from the Jewish onslaught, and he was talking about how he didn't know nobody else that could have this kind of power that could affect his life this way. Right? Now the Jews he talking about are the Zionist Jewish Moors that's running the show. Okay, so one of the speakers that he had come in one time was Maurice Bishop. Yeah. I think you muted, Elder.
Okay, yeah, we got it right here.
Hmm. But yeah, so that's the Jewish onslaught. That's the book he wrote, telling about the struggle he was going through. The irony of it is the same. It feels the same as what Malcolm described when he said to Alex Haley, "I don't think the Nation of Islam behind this because I trained them guys and I know what they do. This is not them."
Yeah, yeah,
Remember that?
yeah,
Okay, now the description that he gives, it feel the same energy is coming off of these people that he's talking about in this book.
yeah.
All right, now, Maurice Bishop and Tony Martin end up trying to make some connections with some of the organizations here for support. Everybody was scared.
Damn. They get, hey, so these black Jews, like you said, they don't play no games. They got everybody spooked out. Like everybody, like, oh, I don't want to mess with them guys. Them guys, they dirty. They don't play by the rules.
Right. So then the same people that killed Clarence, that murdered Clarence 13X.
Man, come on now. You going in. Now go ahead.
Okay, so they caught him in Harlem and shot him in the middle of the night. Thought that, nobody didn't know who did it.
Yeah.
Right? But we know who did it.
These same niggas, man.
We know who did it down to the trigger man because it's in the files. It's just not made public. The same way as Malcolm X assassination was caught on live news feed. Most people don't know that. It was a whole press section in an Audubon ballroom recording for TV when Malcolm was taking the stage when they shot him, and they got the whole thing on camera, and the FBI seized all of the footage.
Yeah.
Why would they do that and blame two innocent men out of the three of having something to do with it? Why would they do that?
Yeah.
Right? They protect their own. One of them was a loyalist to Elijah. The other two wasn't. And if they was trying to get Malcolm was running a red herring. The red herring is when you run the distraction to draw the heat off your guy. That's why he made that statement in the autobiography that I lay my life down for this man, and he didn't say it in the past tense. He said it in the present tense at the time he was talking to Alex.
What man was he talking about?
Elijah Muhammad.
Yeah.
Okay, so now Elijah Muhammad discovered what Noble Drew Ali carried as the secret. He came over from the Moorish Science Temple in the early days of the Nation of Islam, right? And if you ain't been around, you won't never know who Brother Moon is. But Farrakhan always kept him close until he crossed over. Because he was the one who carried the motherfucking keys that's called the silver key from the Moorish Science Temple to the Nation of Islam. The gold key came through the Prince Hall Lodge, and it came in off of the UNIA adaptation to W.E.B. Du Bois and collaborating to set up sororities and fraternities to pass the gold key. Right? The gold key is the solar magic, conjure keys, the keys to the conjure. If you don't know where to look, you can't find them.
So let me ask you this. So is this so it's going back to, like I said, it's a war between good witches and bad witches, or good wizards and bad wizards.
For the most part. Now, where is the story at that tell us about the Conjure War? It's in the King Tut story.
Okay.
And remember, in the King's Tut story, it was the priest of Amun, the unknown god, versus the priest of the Aten, the one who choose to be known. What's the dispute? So they challenged him to a conjure war. All of the different dynasties had a master of the conjure war. Still there? Can you hear me, Elder? Your microphone on mute.
Right.
What's this? What part does the Galactic Council play in?
Our liberation.
If we don't do our part, they ain't gonna play no part,
Get back, get back, get back.
right? But if we do our part, they gonna make sure that it's enforced from a galactic perspective.
Right. How bad, famo? This we let the cat out the back door. This man and caught a rat and broke his neck. I gotta take him out. This little guy gone.
The cat caught a rat.
Hey, that must be some type of sign, huh?
Yeah, definitely a sign. What color is your cat?
Black.
Okay.
There you gone. You had him outside? Yeah, she was in here panicking. That's why.
Well, women don't really care for them rodents too much,
Right.
unless they grow up playing with them as part of their culture.
Mm-hmm. Let me go ahead and wash these hands real quick. Right. Somebody. Now I'm gonna be thinking about that shit all night. Cause the other day, my bad, maybe you can't hear. Because the other day, I got another sign from Spirit. Like Hawks is one of my totems, and I see him everywhere I go. And the other day, I'm driving down the road, and a hawk swoop in front of the car with a rabbit. He didn't caught a rabbit, and he like Rob. When I tell you I had to brake because I was about to hit the hawk and the rabbit, like dead ass, I had to brake. And I'm like, okay, that's God telling me it's time to strike. It's time to do what I'm supposed to be doing. But man, these little messages be coming now. As soon as you tap in, it's like they come nonstop.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing: everything is a message, but we don't read everything as a message.
Mm-hmm. That's real. Ain't no coincidences. I see it in everything now to the point where I be feeling like paranoid. I be like, come
Hmm.
on now, you can't think of everything. Got to be symbolism.
Well, stop telling yourself that, because that's where the paranoia comes from.
Mm.
If you go back to Elijah Muhammad said there's been thousands and thousands and thousands of signs. This shit is about to be a wrap. Elijah Muhammad said that back in the 60s,
Mm.
right? So how many more signs has been given to us since then? So it's a lot of signs that we haven't been reading. We just been letting them go past, trying to fit into the society that was designed to oppress us.
Mm. Yep. Put a cage on my mind, basically. Because once I remove that prison of a thought process, then I'm able to really tap in and allow that to become a part of my intuition. But sometimes, like I said, because I'm like, damn, that can't be a sign. Because like literally, it's like all day numbers. On top of that, it's like numbers to the point where I don't even look up the meaning of numbers anymore because I know them all by heart.
Hmm. So that's when you start using numerology and gematria in real time, and that even it fines tune the message. So the message becomes easier to assimilate when you understand what numbers mean.
Mm,
Because this is why you wear a watch. This is why you're supposed to wear a watch. We got phone cameras on our phone. I mean, clocks on our phone now, because the every second of the day is a new set of numbers. Think about that. Every second of the day is a new set of numbers,
mm,
and those same numbers several times a day are anagrams of one another. Those are what you call connection points, right? So 24 hours in a day, but 12 months in a year,
mm-hmm.
right? So they say it's one day to the year. That means it took a whole year for it to happen. So in 12 and 24 is 36, and 3 and 6 is 9, and that's the turnaround.
Right. And 12 is 3.
Mm-hmm.
24 is 6. And you add
Yep.
them together, then you get 9.
Yep.
Dang.
It got to be able to work frontwards and backwards in order for it to fit into an accurate read, right? So the 369 is a code. It's a universal code for turning something around, or when you get to what we call 3-point convergence, that's GPS. So you need 3 points of convergence in order to get past the 2-point coincidence factor. Anything more than 2 is no longer coincidence. That means that pay attention. This is a real sign,
Mm,
right? That's how GPS need 3 points of convergence to get you to your location.
what do they call it? Uh,
Triangulation.
triangulation. There it is. Yep.
Hmm. So that's why when you see, like when I watch a tarot card reader, I can read more into the cards than she reading, because I'm starting with how long did it take her to do this read? What do those numbers mean?
Mm,
Okay. Now, what's the title of the spread? Right? Because that's the theme. That's the mission statement. Right? So the mission, under the mission statements, is the details of the mission. Right? We call it the question and answer, or the query and the response. The universe is telling us something. We use an oracle means to focus the energy in, like lights going through a magnifying glass, until we can explain clearly what it is that we see. The more things that we know the meaning of, the more accurate we can get an oracle read.
mm.
What this question right here, the answer to that is, that was before the end of the contract. If you do it now, you are resurrecting the dead contract. You revisiting the contract that is no longer enforceable, trying to compel them to enforce it upon you as rules and restrictions on you.
Go ahead and re-register yourself. That makes sense.
Hmm. That's why they got us filling out paperwork with so much shit. We don't even know what all that paperwork is necessary for, because they drown us with an overburden of what we call gibberish, jargon, a bunch of talk. It's rhetoric.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go back to Rome, they used to teach rhetoric as a viable classroom operation. And so when you understand what the rhetoric is there to undermine your ability to see the problem clear enough to no longer be under the unum sanctum declaration of the Pope.
Mm-hmm.
The Uniform Commercial Code was the document that the parameters of the contract fell under in the international maritime jurisdiction. It used to be called the Ancient Code of Kings. It's been updated to called Uniform Commercial Code as the law of the high seas and admiralty and jurisdiction, right? And so all nations are codified under uniform commercial code. And the only thing that the uniform commercial code can codify is a legal fiction, right? And the legal fiction, if you are a member of the legal fiction, you have to be a straw man in order to be a part of it.
Mm. To even play in any of these, you gotta be dead.
Right. Now, in order to bring back the living system is based upon husia, authoritative utterance and exceptional insight. The hua is the authoritative utterance, the voice, the ability to speak a thing into existence. You speak it into existence by being in a position of right and telling the truth, and it has to happen because Big Mama said so. What's the part about the single mothers not wanting what?
Oh dang! Single mothers not wanting to get off of. You see that part? That was a whole different question, by the way. But he was saying what single mothers not wanting to get off child support, food stamps, so on and so forth. He said, "I want you
When
to
we
talk about what's the reasoning behind that."
look, that's because they don't know no better. But when we get our shit back, ain't nobody gonna be on child support. The child gonna be with the parent if the parent's not together that is most capable of meeting the necessary needs of the mental, emotional, physical, and economic development of the child. In other words, the parent that can be the greatest benefit to the child is the parent that the child will be put with. And this will be done by the evaluation of the family members, the women in the family as the mothers, and the men in the family as the fathers. So if you're a piece of shit father, the men in your family gonna whoop your ass and you ain't gonna be able to see your son.
Mm-hmm.
But if you are a good father, the women gonna back you up, and then the men gonna back you up because the women back you. Most loved, most respected in this scenario,
Mm-hmm.
right? The most respectable parent with the strongest moral compass under matriarchy is the parent responsible for the children. Now, here's the part that a lot of the brothers ain't gonna like. If your child have a sibling that's older or younger than your child, and when you do stuff for your child, you do something for the other children so that the other children doesn't establish a mutiny in the family to your child. So a guy was going over a video yesterday. This guy brought McDonald's only for his child, and the girl got 4 other kids.
I saw that shit.
Now look, this is serious because he's fundamentally right. But if he was really understanding child psychological development, he was doing his child more harm